Good evening, Hope and Life. It is so good to be on with you. I hope that you are ready tonight to receive. As we've been talking for several weeks now, I guess for a few weeks, just talking about being better together in a marriage relationship and different topics that other pastors have kind of stepped in and done and have killed it. And we just want to talk tonight about just having fun. So I want to introduce myself first. I'm Pastor Avery, the associate pastor at Hope and Life. And this is my beautiful bride, Denise.
Good evening, everyone.
Just good to be on with you, pushing through the day and dinner and all that kind of good stuff. But wanted to share some of our thoughts with you and talking about having fun together. What do you think when you think about having fun? What do you think that means, babe?
Having fun is just enjoying the time together, enjoying being with your spouse, whether it's just riding in the car, grocery shopping, or a trip that you've planned.
Yeah, we, during the pandemic, when we were kind of in the home, when this thing first started, Denise was like, you know what, we should take Sunday rides. And that's what we would do. We would have service online in the mornings, and then we, probably cook some breakfast. And then afterwards, sometimes later on in the day, she and I would just get in the car and just ride somewhere that we'd never ridden before, just to see what we would see. And just being together is so important, and just loving one another, even in those moments whether we were talking about what we saw, what we'd seen, or even if it was just being quiet. It was just really more important about being together. So a few things I want to kind of bring out tonight about having fun and keeping fun in the marriage is it's important. It's really important that we not allow the stress and strain of life, whether it's kids or bills, whatever it may be, to suck the life out of your relationship. And I know, just thinking back, it's things that we did when we didn't have as much money, when we were almost just kind of broke.
Now, don't think we got a whole lot of money now, but it's when we didn't have as much as we have now.
Right.
Just starting out in our careers.
So what's some of the stuff that we would do? Cheat dates.
Wendy's.
What we do? What we eat at Wendy's?
Fries and a Frosty.
Hey, killing the game with
between church services.
Yeah, just fries and a Frosty, and I don't know, I can't remember, did you dip your fries in the Frosty?
No.
I think some people do, though.
They do. I'm not one of those.
I never got that right there, but just cheap things that you can do. I don't know if I should use the word cheap or frugal things or inexpensive things that you can do to have fun and just have an inexpensive date night. We've done things like when we got married, before. We had kids, but just, we didn't have a whole lot of funds, but my mother-in-law was in town. We went to the Red Box and got a movie. And at the time we had a vehicle that had a DVD player in it. So we went and had an inexpensive dinner at Wendy's. And after dinner, the beautiful romantic dinner at Wendy's, before the pandemic, we
parked the van in a Walmart parking lot and watched the movie.
Popped the movie.
Watched the movie that we'd always wanted to watch. That was cheaper than the theater.
Yeah, and it's possible. Things that I did in trying to woo her, just made my own cards, or at the time she was a big Winnie the Pooh fan, and so I printed something offline, colored it myself. Had someone I knew do some calligraphy and write the note on it for me. But just
that was dating. That was not marriage.
Yeah, it wasn't, but it's stuff that you can still continue to do.
Oh, okay.
That some men don't even think of in keeping things fresh or fun in the relationship. But it's important that we keep fun in the marriage. It's important. Second thing is it's necessary because there's so much serious stuff in life and in our relationships, the ups and downs that we experience, the bills, all of those things, the kids, figuring out how to be parents. Nobody gives you a manual for that, right?
No manual.
And the teenagers, I think we got a 19-year-old and a 14-year-old. And some days you wish you had a manual on the how-to. what
Age
to do.
35.
Yeah, what to do when.
this.
Chapter 18, but we don't get that. So some of those things can sometimes possibly take that from the marriage because you're so busy focusing on how to make certain things great and make certain things good and make sure it works or it lasts, that it takes away from the relationship. And it's necessary to have fun, to keep those things balanced in your life. And we've got to have a place and some kind of balance that keeps us from just kind of being overwhelmed with the seriousness of life. We used to say, because we do some marriage counseling, premarital and marital, but we one time said to someone that, hey, marriage is hard. But we didn't mean marriage was hard in a sense of
it's hard to do it, it's impossible, that it's like doing construction work hard. But it was more so to mean that it was hard, meaning it's like it's a job that you have, like the job that you work on. It's not like a job because you enjoy it, or you're supposed to enjoy it, and I hope you enjoy it.
Please.
But it's hard because you have to put in some work.
Yeah.
It doesn't just happen. It's not something that you wake up one day and like, oh, we're married and it's going to work and it's going to be this way forever. Some of the greatest marriages, I'm sure, put in some work. Mm-hmm. People that have been married a long time have put in some work, and they don't forget about the other person. Something else that we often tell couples is it's not a 50-50.
Yeah.
It's a 100-100. So it takes work for something to be 100-100 because you're giving your everything.
Yeah.
You're giving your all to your spouse, to your mate. And so it's going to require some time, some effort, some thought.
Yeah, we talk about it not being that, or we talk about it not being a give and take, but always a give. You always want to have more in the bank so that you can have something to draw from if a take happens. But you don't plan takes. You don't plan to do a take. It's just something that happens. But because you've invested so much in the work side of things and putting in and making those deposits, that it's never a situation where you're in the negative.
Right.
And so it just kind of ends up ruining the relationship. So number one, it's important. Number two, it's necessary. But number three, man, it's not that hard. It's really not that hard to make sure that you institute fun, in the marriage. One of the things that something recent that I was able to do and think of, and it just kind of happened, was, Denise, sometimes she'll stay late on Friday, just kind of preparing for the next week. So she may get off a little bit later, not crazy late, but, you're talking 4:30, 4:45, she'll leave. So I think I had a funeral maybe that day that I was doing. And so I said, hey, look, why don't we do this? You're on the way home from work. Let's meet up. Mm. Let's, whether we have a gift card that someone's blessed us with or given us, but let's meet up and just, somewhere between home and work, let's stop somewhere and just sit down and have dinner and maybe just kind of blow off some steam, blow off the week, blow off the day of things that have happened, and just kind of planning some things. I know we always get those gift cards that people give us that we just kind of sit around and we don't ever get around to using. Use some of those cards and just plan a date and say, hey, look, I'm gonna meet you on your way home at this point, at this stop, so that we can have some fun together.
And I thought about this while PA was talking, but if it's something that you haven't been doing naturally and it's something that you're going to start, don't give the person a hard time about why you're doing this. What's happening? Did something happen? Right. Just go with it. Go with the flow. Be able to start something new. That's part of the having fun too, is being spontaneous. Some people struggle with spontaneity, but be okay with something different. You never know where it might lead.
Right. And look, like I said, it doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't. It really doesn't have to be. That's something that we've done. The pandemic has kind of switched it up for us a little bit. But we've always kind of been a couple that has a vacation with the family, but then we also have a vacation that's just us. And that's just the part of, keeping the fun in the marriage. So one year it may be a family vacation, and then the following year may be a vacation just for me and my bride. So we can just hang out and keep that connection that we first spurned during the courtship day, and having those moments and those times, whether it's just a surprise dinner. Hey, let's stop and meet up here and do this, or whatever it may be. And it doesn't, like I said, doesn't have to. If look, some ideas. Give us some ideas. You just told me about what, maybe getting a table or getting something and putting it in the bed of my truck.
Oh, okay, yeah. And I'm like, because let's just be clear. I'm not the idea person. I'm not the one that remembers dates. I'm doing better because I can put them in my phone. But it's just not. That's just not who I am. I have so many things that run across my brain that I just don't do the thought things. Plan parties, none of that. I got people that do that kind of stuff for me. But just been trying to think of some things, because during the pandemic we were able to do some things that we hadn't done in a long time, and life was a lot slower, but amazingly we're back to our busy selves. But just getting a table, or I think I said taking one of the air mattresses and put it in the back of the truck and just go look at the stars at Stone Mountain, or go have a grab and go date night and we just hang out in the back of the truck. I always try to think of the things that don't cost a lot of money, because number one, I'm not high maintenance, and simple is always better for me. And so I'm always trying to think of things that are free or that cost very little. And that's another thing. If you know that one spouse is high maintenance, train them into being not so high maintenance and learning to enjoy just the simple things in life. And one of those things is just spending time together.
Yeah, it's important, man, to have that time. Sometimes it's inevitable that, because you have a family, just whatever your situation may be, you have to be around your kids. You have to be around your mother-in-law or father-in-law if they're with you, or that, they're close by. We've never really kind of had a situation where our families have been extremely close. Right. Sometimes that's a blessing. Sometimes it's a curse.
Close meaning distance.
Yeah, distance. And so we've really never had that leisure. But if we're going to take a trip or something where it was just us, we would call our mother-in-law and say, hey, can you come, on whatever date it may be, and stay with the kids for us, so that, there's supervision around. And now they're at an age where, if we do an overnight, we can do something because we got neighbors that are close by that can keep an eye out for just a single overnight situation that we may do. But everything is really on the table. It's just whatever you try to, you want to explore and have fun with. But don't let the issues of life keep fun out of your lives. One of the things that's a big deal is the thing that I'm even using now is, hey, sometimes you just got to put the phone down and say, hey, look, I just want 30 minutes. Can I get 30 minutes with you? And just let's just sit in the same room and look at each other and just see what happens, conversation wise, and being able to bring up those things. I'm gonna read one scripture with you that I want to share with you, and then out of Song of Solomon 2:15, it says, "Catch us foxes." Song of Solomon 2:15. "Catch us foxes, the little foxes that spoil the vines, for our vines have tender grapes." And that's our marriage relationship. It's the little things that we allow to come in and just kind of creep in and tear up the relationship that we don't keep watch over. And so we want to make sure that we do those things and make sure that we don't allow little things to come in and create separation between us and push us apart, but keep our relationship solid by having fun and keeping fun on the table. All right? What you think?
Sounds good.
All right. Love you guys. Hope you have a great rest of your week. Look forward to seeing you online and in person on Sunday. God bless.